Okay, so to start this project, you need to grab your ruler and your sheet of paper. And normally when you use a ruler, you want to use it to do straight lines. And we are going to be doing straight lines, but we're going to tilt our ruler slightly inward to where we kind of have a diagonal line here. This is going to help for when we roll up our paper to become beads. It's going to help it roll up and be a very nice little shape, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to angle your ruler, then you're going to take your pencil and lightly draw a line down, okay? So now we have a line. It's diagonal right here, okay? After you get that line drawn, what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing for the next one. You're going to angle your ruler the opposite way, so it'll be wider on this side and skinnier on this side, and then you'll draw your line down. If you are in second, third, or fourth, or fifth, you should be able to do this by yourself. If you are younger than that, you might need to get some assistance from your parents, okay? So you're just gonna keep going and make those diagonal lines. Try and make them rough, as close to the same size as you possibly can. If they're a little off, that's okay. But here's where we go. So I'm just gonna do this sheet of paper first. You can do a couple on your first color and get different colors in there and get different sheets of paper to make this look really cool. Okay. I'm going to start just with one color for now, just to show you guys how to get it done. So the widest part of your line, that's going to be how wide your bead is. So you don't want them to be too wide, because then you won't have enough room to put any other beads on there. So you want to make sure that you're keeping that in mind while you're making these lines too. Okay. Oops, that one, I slid my hand a little bit. Make sure, guys, when you're using a ruler, you hold it down in the center with your hand that you're not using to draw, because then that'll help keep your line steady and your ruler steady, okay? So I think I can do one more. All right. Awesome. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 beads from one little sheet of paper. Okay, some of mine are a little bit wider, some of mine are a little bit skinnier, and that's totally fine. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your scissors and you're gonna cut on those lines. If you have a paper cutter, like one of the ones that, you know, slides across to cut them, you can totally use that. I'm just gonna use scissors because that's what I have with me right now. So I'm just gonna carefully cut on those lines that I drew. Make sure that you are not having any jagged edges. See how smooth that is? You need to take your time for each strip you cut. I know this seems like it's a lot, but you'll be able to handle it, I promise. Okay. So you see the basic shape is kind of like a super long cone or like a triangle, okay? So when you have enough of these cut, I'm going to show you what to do with them afterwards, okay? So now is when you're going to get your stick or your pencil or your toothpick, whatever you're going to use, and you're going to start with the big end, okay? So not the small end, the big end. And you're gonna hold it there with your thumb and wrap it around one time. And then you're gonna twist your stick to make sure it is super tight. Then on this portion here, you're gonna get your glue. You don't need a lot. So I have a little toothpick that I have my glue on, a Q-tip, and then I'm just gonna brush a little bit of glue down there, and now I'm gonna start rolling it up, okay? What you don't want is too much glue coming out of the edges, because if that happens, it's gonna make your bead get stuck to your stick, and then you won't be able to get it off, okay? So just use a little bit of glue. And then as you roll it up, you start to see all those colors. So you can still see the pattern of your paper if you have patterned paper. And then I'm gonna put that last little bit of glue on this section. Just make sure I have enough on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna wrap the rest of it up. And there you have it, a nice little bead. Make sure you wrap your fingers around it a little bit, and then don't mess with it much so that it can dry just like that. I'm gonna slide mine down closer to the end so I can fill up my stick with a few more beads, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do this again. Start with a long end here. And then you're going to use your thumb to wrap around 1 to 2 times. Then you're gonna put your glue down just a little bit, down the whole edge of your paper. And then you're gonna twist. Try and keep your paper rolling up in the center. Mine started going more this way, so you see all of that's kind of uncurled over there. You want to try to keep this in the center so that it's even on both sides, if that makes sense. Okay, so you're gonna roll. I'm gonna add a little bit more glue to help keep this end down. And then okay, so now we have 2. Leave a little bit of space right here so that they don't touch, and then you just keep going. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue down on here first. Once you start getting in the rhythm, it becomes really quick and kind of calming. So you're gonna wanna add your glue. Start rolling. So roll. Keep it centered. And then slide it down to the end. I would let these dry for about an hour before you take them off the stick, just to make sure that they're dry all the way through. If you want to be extra safe, I'd wait about half a day, okay? And then, when they're all dry, you'll carefully pull them off. And look at your cute little beads, okay? And so then after you start making a bunch of beads, you can organize them into different colors, different patterns, different shapes, and then you can start to make a pattern for your necklace or your keychain or your bracelet, whatever you decide to make. So let's go through the steps one more time. you need to get your piece of paper, you need to get your ruler, and you need to make diagonal lines to help form triangles that will then be the shape you'll need to roll up your beads. Okay? Smaller is good. For some, you can make some bigger than others. Just remember, it'll be as big as the widest part of your paper. So you're just gonna tilt your ruler back and forth, and you kind of have a zigzag pattern forming here. And this is what you'll have. Then you'll take your scissors and carefully cut down those lines. Again, if you have a paper cutter, parents, you guys can totally use that. But you want to make sure that the lines are smooth. Okay, if there's a little bit of pencil that shows up, that's fine. You can be very careful and erase it afterwards. That is up to you. The better option would be to draw your zigzag lines on the other side of your paper. But I just wanted to show you guys on this side. And if your paper is double-sided, you can pick which side of your paper you want to draw on. I don't know how many of you have done this before, but I learned this back in middle school, and I thought it was really cool that, you know, if I wanted a new piece of jewelry or if I wanted to make something for someone and I didn't have money to spend or I couldn't go anywhere to get it, I could just use what I had in my room to make something different and unique. So this is a really cool thought of something you can do at home. It can take a lot of time, but I think that in the end, it is so worth it. Okay, so now I have some of my strips ready in a different color. So I think the pink and the blue and green is gonna be very pretty. Okay, you're gonna take your stick. You're going to start wrapping your paper on there about 1 to 2 times. You're gonna get your glue, stick it on there. Make sure you don't have too much. If you're using the liquid glue, just do little dots. Small little dots down. And as you roll it, the glue will roll and cover the next piece of paper that's coming around. Okay? So then you will twist and twist and twist. Roll tightly, because if it's bumpy, then it's not going to dry very well and it probably won't hold together. Try and make sure your fingers don't get too sticky too, because that can start to pull some of the color off of your paper, and it could leave little balls of glue that turn out to be kind of gray, and you don't want that either. Okay, then at the end, just take a little bit of glue and finish it off. After they're dry, you can do one more coat of glue around the whole thing. So like if you have a paintbrush or your finger and you just paint it, do a thin layer, but that'll help really keep it glued together so that no pieces start to unravel. Okay, then you'll, oh, mind you, let that one dry a little bit. Okay, so you get your long end, and you're gonna roll about 2 times. Then you're gonna put your glue gonna roll it up. Okay. You don't have to do this in one day. You can do a few beads at a time, kind of make this a week-long adventure. Or if it takes you longer than that, that is totally fine. Because the more time you take, the better it's gonna turn out. This would also be a sweet gift for a friendship bracelet, or even for Mother's Day. If you wanted to make your mom something special, you could make her a really pretty handmade bead necklace, or even a keychain to put on her keys with a cute little note attached. Okay, so that's all you really have to know. But when you start threading your beads through, you want to make sure that you measure. So if I'm doing a bracelet, I'd want to wrap around my wrist, and I want it to be a little bit longer because we have to tie some knots to make sure that it doesn't come apart. So I'm just gonna do that much, okay? And then I'm going to tie a little knot on the end, okay? That's not really gonna help. This knot's not gonna be very good because the whole of this bead is a lot bigger. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna undo that, and then I'm just gonna keep my string on the table so that none of your beads fall off. I know a lot of us like to hold it up and then our beads just fall to the floor and it makes a mess. But what you're gonna end up doing is just thread it through, keep it on the table. If you want to do a pattern, that is totally fine. That's exciting, can't wait to see them. But if you just wanna do all one color, that is fine too. So I'm gonna do pink in the middle with blue on the side. So yeah, I do have my little pattern right here. Okay, then what you'll do is you'll put it on your person or yourself if you made it for yourself. You'll measure. Mine needs some more beads, but just to show you guys, if you take both of your strings and you wrap it around each other and then pull like that, pull tight, and then you cut off a little bit of the extra. It'll go on. Mine's a little too big, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do the same thing. Take it around, pull through, pull it down like that, pull it tight, and there we go. I have my little bracelet here. What you should do is fill it up about a bead shorter than you need it so that you have enough room to tie your knot. And then when you wear it, it should be full. Ah! Okay, so there you have it, guys. Your cute little recycled paper beads, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Remember to keep sending your pictures to me and the Google Drive. You need to upload them to your class and to your name, and that's how I see them. I check them every other day, so make sure that you are uploading and that you're posting, and I can't wait to see what you guys make this week.